It is finally time. We brought on our second guest to talk about another player. We are now on player number 6, Adam, which is crazy. We are ripping and rolling through this summer, but we had to bring on Adam's brother, Austin Johnson, co-host of Johnson Magic. And Austin, I want to ask this question. We started every one of these episodes with it. When you think of Chris Paul, what's the first thing that comes to mind, my man?
My childhood would be
Well,
it would
that's very
be
broad.
yeah. I mean, he's like he's one of my favorite players of all time. So, the Hornets version of him is maybe my favorite like version of a player that's not a Spur ever. So I was just obsessed. So, and then as an NBA player, just complete, like so complete longevity, point guard, like everything you want out of a competitor. So yeah, huge fan.
I love it. Adam, what about you, my man?
Yeah, I can confirm for Austin, he was a huge Chris Paul fan back in the day. Yeah, I think just like kind of like the ultimate gamer. I mean, he just is like this thinker, sometimes overthinker, right? But just this absolute kind of like is obsessed with the game, and on so many levels, not just playing, but kind of thinking the game. Sometimes trying to outmaneuver the game, and like, but ultimately, like it comes from like a place of competition, right? Like you said, Austin, he's such a competitor. Just a guy that it sometimes ruffled teammates the wrong way, but he was so good. I mean, he was so skilled too, from so many different areas on the floor as a one-on-one player. Kind of one of those like pound for pound, one of the best players ever. This small guy who was still just so effective, particularly offensively, but also was excellent defensively too. So complete package. It's like, I know people are going to do the whole like, but no ring, that's just lazy. So, he is a phenomenal player and is pretty highly ranked on our tiers list, which we'll talk about here in a second, but, fully deserving of that place.
I completely agree. Adam, you and I have in our time cultivated like top 10 all time, like per position lists, for some of these, and Chris Paul's without a doubt, I think, in everyone's top 10 point guards of all time. If you don't, we have some other issues that we need to go through. You need to look internally and find the problem inside yourself. But I think for me, it's that he's been around, similar to Austin, he's been around my entire fandom of being a fan of the NBA. Like, I have never known basketball, the professional sports world, professional basketball world, without him being in the NBA. And the name, and like, I still remember that, uh, 08 season when he was runner-up for MVP, and like that was like when he blew up in my mind, and that was just because that's when also my fandom for the NBA blew up as well, because I think I was so engulfed with it, and I'm learning about all these different teams, all these different players, and then there's this short little point guard in New Orleans / Oklahoma or Oklahoma City the year before, and you're like, oh, this guy's a freaking stud, and I think he is the last of a player type. He's the last like point guard. He is the last like true playmaking point guard, floor general that we have in the NBA. And I think there's maybe one or two that are in the current NBA that are still like trying to emulate that mold a little bit. Tyrese Halliburton being one of them, but I think Chris Paul is the last, or one of the last of this dying breed of players, player molds that we have in the league's history. And Adam, I think we can talk about his playmaking. We can talk about some of his clutch shots, but I think the other thing we'll talk about it more, especially in this game. But for his size, one of the best defensive guards that we have had in this league, and I think it's something. And Austin, I'm sure that's part of one of the reasons you loved him too.
Yeah. The tenacity. He kind of is like he lurks. And during this 2008 game that we watched, he's just like a strong safety, just waiting for like the passing lanes, but he'll like jump them as if he's a 6'8" like defensive end. And you're like, what? Like, so he combines these, his mind and his physical capabilities really, really well as a defensive player. So yeah, that's a huge part of why I fell in love with him when I was younger. When he was at Wake Forest, and then right out the gate, just like, yeah, this guy, he's a dog. So I'm really glad
Yeah.
during one of these games he literally has 8 steals during one of these games. It's crazy.
Yeah, his mind, I think, is the thing that set him apart. Um, but I do think people kind of forget how athletic he was, especially in his earlier
Yes.
days. I mean, he would like
Mm.
dunk on people. He was so
Yeah.
fast end to end, right? Not just like the quickness with the handle, but his actual end to end speed was so fast. And he used a lot of those gifts to kind of really become this excellent player early in his career, and then kind of use the smarts to stay really good for so long. I mean, the longevity at his size is like very,
Un-
very rare. I mean,
Unheard
very,
of.
very rare.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. To have somebody that played that long, be that good at that size in the league, because I've stood right next to him. I've met him. I mean, I don't think he's 6 feet tall. Like there's no way
Yeah.
he's actually he's listed at 6 foot, but I don't think he is. I mean, he's barely taller than me. I'm 5'9", so it's incredible what he's able to do, kind of amongst the trees and just outthinking many of his opponents.
21 years in the league, and he has announced that he's retiring after this 26 season. And I mean, we're talking about a 9-time All Defense, a 11-time All NBA. Talking about the fact that you're right, there is this like athleticism to him that I think, of course, as every NBA player starts, they have it and they peak at it and then it goes down. But then it's like, okay, how do you adjust? How does your IQ go with it? How is your game? And he has been one of the guys who has adjusted so well. And I think that's the key that you guys are bringing up too, is just like, man, he has learned, especially like when he transitioned from the Clippers to the Rockets. And in that 1 year with the Thunder, he was like, I have to learn how to be different, not only with my body, like deteriorating or like I'm losing this athleticism, but as I'm changing roles within these 3 different teams, I'm going to be this playmaker with the Clippers. I'm going to be the secondary ball handler with the Rockets. And then I'm going to be the literal leader and main scorer for this Thunder team in this 1 year I'm with them. And so his ability to kind of adjust his game so quickly, because that's the other thing. I don't think I realized that he only played with the Rockets for 2 years. And I look back at his career, I'm like, oh, it's only 2 years. What? And so the fact he played with the Suns longer than he played with the Rockets is still crazy to me in my mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's sneaky for some NBA fans too. Is like he's got this like fun run with the Suns, a fun run with the like those 2 years with the Rockets, but in between that, there's that 1 year of greatness that he just earns like those last like 5 years of contracts basically with Oklahoma City. Like he's like, hey, I earned my contract, and I'm gonna play this year, and we're gonna get this team to a 5 seed in the West or the 4 seed.
Yeah, and that was that was a crazy Thunder team. I mean, just all sorts of kind of strange components to it. They just made the trade, obviously, trading away Paul George, and they get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he's a key piece of that. They played that kind of 3-guard lineup a bunch, and he's what makes that go, right? And a bunch of those guys have talked about how important he was for them in their career, including guys like Shai. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got, he's definitely got foibles and he's got, personality issues. I think that he was really hard on people and wasn't always the very best leader in terms of kind of like interpersonal dynamics, but in terms of kind of playing hard, leading by example type thing, couldn't have asked for a better guy. So I think he's helped a ton of players, throughout his time in the league too. And I'm very curious to see what he does next. He does have the mind of a coach. I don't know if he'll do it. These like major guys now that have made so much money in their career, it's like they just don't really need to keep doing that. But I'll be very curious to see what he does kind of going forward. Does he stay in the game at all? Does he come back to the game? Does he go to a front office or something like that? He's got such a brilliant mind for the game. It would be a shame for him to not do something with basketball for the rest of his life.
It would be weird if he wasn't a part of the league. I think that's where I'll stand on it. And I think that's what makes it fun. Here's the other thing too. And we've talked about it with like as the series has gone on, and I think, Adam, we've found a mold of player that he is like early on. He had a certain mold of player that they were like trying to find him a power forward or a bigger forward who's athletic, and that is a great scoring option with him, whether it be David West, whether it was Griffin. Like they're his like first 13 years of the league. They're like, hey, here's your running mate. Like go have a great time with this guy, or just have a pick and roll partner with this guy. And I think he perfected it when he went to LA with Lob City and everything. And then Austin, I'm assuming what was like, I know you said Hornets version of him is like this peak like version of the fandom for you, but when you went to LA, Lob City's happening, or outside of New Orleans, I guess, is there another time that you're like, this is my favorite? Or is it like LA? Is it the 1 year in Oklahoma City? Is it Phoenix when it finally makes the finals?
It's the Spurs, baby. It's the 1 year with the Spurs. No,
No.
that's a good question. I mean, I've loved his entire run. I will say I was when the Suns lost in the finals in 21 and they kind of just got right back on the horse and had a fucking fantastic regular season in 21-22. I was like, this is why I like basketball. I like consistency, always trying to find the right shot. That Phoenix team with Monty Williams was not like, oh, let's just like jack up threes, and like I felt like they really like were patient and waited for good looks and kind of just diced teams up. And Chris Paul was obviously a huge reason why. So I thought I've always thought the world of him as a player, and I personally have him extremely high if I were making a list, probably higher than most people would. But I think what he was doing with the Suns was just like, wow, he's still doing it on this level. And Mitch, you mentioned kind of the evolution of what like things he added or what he was able to do, like, you know, stepping into different roles. So yeah, I guess the Suns would probably be my second pick. The Clippers, it was like, I'm such a huge Spurs fan that I was like, man, going against this guy's a nightmare. Like, so I definitely got worn out by those Clippers teams, specifically in 2015. And then that Rockets team was annoying. Like they were annoyingly good. And if he didn't get hurt, you know, maybe they win the championship in 2018. I don't know. So, those teams were like going against really good Spurs teams, you know, those Clippers and Rockets teams. Whereas the Suns, it was like, obviously the Spurs have taken a huge step back in competitiveness. I can just enjoy this. But I've always loved him. Even like Adam and I remember watching the 2003 McDonald's All-American game where him and LeBron were playing on the same court when I was 8 years old, and it was like right then and there that I was like, oh, I like this guy a lot. And then at Wake Forest, and Duncan went to Wake Forest. So yeah, it's just kind of like just been forever. I mean, since I was a little kid.
I love it. I love it. Adam, we do this for every player. Do you have where we have him ranked, or do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, go ahead. If you've got it, yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. So he is like his former teammate, James Harden. He is in the diamond tier, which is our 26 to 34. So like I said, he's with James Harden. And like Harden, it's with Isaiah Thomas as well. And then also John Stockton and Dwayne Wade are similar names that are in this list. And we kind of describe this, Adam, with Harden. It's this guy who we know is a great number one, but is an even better number two option for a really good team. And in his career, these are the guys who have had incredible accolades, who are league leaders in a certain stat for multiple years, it feels like. And then it just feels like they're A plus in like 7 of 10 categories. And then there's like an A minus, and 2 others. And then there's like, for Chris Paul, it felt like his height also hurt him. And then there's like we talked about with some of his leadership moments where like that's what also brings him down. And especially that's what kind of brings him down to the ranking he's at. Why else do you think we have him in this tier?
Longevity definitely is a big key. All those guys, you know, obviously had pretty long careers. That's a huge part of it. And then did win a lot. I understand, you know, he didn't win the title. It's like you know, again, people listen to this is not a rings, you know, podcast. But his teams just consistently won just everywhere he went. They just won and won and won. And he won a bunch of playoff series, and he obviously did make a finals. So that's a huge piece of it too. And I will say, of all those guys that you just mentioned, he was, for me personally, the one I debated the most moving up a tier. I do think it would be hard to make the case that he should be up 2 tiers, but I do think you can make a case for him probably more than any of those other guys in that tier. Like, man, he's right there on the border. So I kind of would have him at the top of the tier that we have him in. So kind of like just outside the top 25 all time. But again, you're kind of splitting hairs with some of this stuff, and he's absolutely amazing. Again, yeah, fully deserving for that spot.
Totally agree. Well, Adam, why don't you give us the list of games that we have for Chris Paul? We have 5 games we do for every player. We like kind of to say define a player's career. Why don't you give us the 5 games that we felt defined Chris Paul's career?
Yeah, so we start with the 2007-2008 regular season. This is his kind of best individual statistical season. Second in MVP this season. We picked a regular season game against the Suns, which was amazing, and we'll talk about here in a second because that's one of the ones we watched in full. We fast forward to his time in the Clippers and 2014 Western Conference second round game 5, Clippers at Thunder. This is the crazy, the it kind of collapsed. They have the Thunder on the ropes. They're up by 13 with 4 minutes left. Chris Paul kind of overthinks the ending, tries to draw that crazy foul on Russell Westbrook. Refs from 70 feet away. Refs don't buy it, get a steal, Thunder score, and then he fouls Westbrook on a 3 that ends up costing them the game. Just a brutal loss in a team that they could have easily won that series, and then probably tried to go toe to toe with the Spurs in the conference finals that year. That's a loaded Clippers team that just could never quite get over that second round hump, and that series was probably the one that had the most, especially in that game. Right, you're up that big, going into what would have been a game 6 at home, up 3-2. If you win that game, that's a really tough loss. Overall, he played well in that game and kind of helped them get that 13-point lead. But then again, that kind of overthinking, again, his best gift is sometimes the biggest curse, and that hurts him at the end of that game. 2015 first round, game 7, Spurs at Clippers. Despite a hamstring strain, Paul brilliantly leads the Clippers past the defending champs thanks to his game-winning floater over Tim Duncan with 1 second left. That's a game where he probably shouldn't have even been on the court, but he finishes with 27 points, 6 assists, couple steals, and leads the Clippers in an epic first round series. Like, honestly, one of the best first round series in the last 20, 25 years, past the Spurs. 2018 Western Conference semifinals game 5. That's the second one we're going to do in full here. So we'll kind of wait to talk a little more about that one. And then 2021 finals game 1, his first ever finals game. Masterful performance from Chris Paul. Helps lead the Suns to a 1-0 lead over the Bucks. They eventually won the next game, game 2, and then they lost 4 straight. Including Giannis's kind of his own masterpiece in game 6 of that series. But this is the moment where it felt like, all right, I think they're going to do it. This guy's going to get his championship, and Devin Booker obviously was an awesome running mate to have on that team, and that was a great starting 5 that they had. But obviously it wasn't meant to be. They lost to a pretty crazy Giannis performance, but he was amazing in this game 1. And I thought we wanted to have a game from the Suns run because those teams were so good, and this is the one that made the most sense.
I love it, and I think I said it before we started recording. I thought it was crazy we didn't do a Clippers game, but then the 2 games we did end up watching, I'm like, yeah, we're fine. I think we're gonna be all right.
Yeah. We watched that 2015 Clippers game for the Clippers anatomy.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of ruled out that one for us to watch. So, which is a crazy game, and also
and that was one of the ones I was on.
Yes, that's correct.
It was just you two. It was just you two because I was on a train through Italy at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember I don't really want to watch Game 7, 2015 again. It's a great game and super interesting, time, but yeah, I mean, brutal stuff as a Spurs fan, but also as a Chris Paul fan, just so necessary to kind of, in a way, silence some people. I hate that. I hate that has to happen in sports, but it's just how it is when you're picking hairs, between the greats. And sometimes you have to have exact moments or games, right? Or stretches of games or a series where it's this is why you can hang your hat on it, right? And that is definitely that shot. It's should not have gone in. It's such an insane play, but how many times does he do that in the Hornets game we watched, where he goes to that spot on the side, kind of in between the elbow and short corner, and he's just I'm just gonna live here, and for some reason that shot was just destined to go in, and I'm so glad it did. I was gutted as a Spurs fan, but also we kind of needed it. It's here. It's one of the things you picked, Adam. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go to the first game. Let's flash back to February of 2008, in Chris Paul's 3rd year. Adam, why don't you give us the how we got here to this Suns Hornets game in 2008?
Yeah, so this is obviously again, like you said, during his best season. This is still a really good Suns team. Their records kind of coming into this game were almost dead even. They're kind of fighting for the same kind of playoff seeding there. The Suns had just traded for Shaquille O'Neal. They traded Sean Marion for Shaquille O'Neal, among other players in that package, but totally remaking their team. Steve Kerr is the GM of the Suns at the time. Obviously, it changes their whole thing. This Hornets team is it's Chris Paul, it's Morris Peterson, Peja Stojakovic, David West, Tyson Chandler, just a really, really good starting five. Peja, who we'll talk about, I'm sure, plenty in this podcast because he was amazing in this game, and a perfect fit kind of with these guys. So Tyson Chandler was out for this game, and Shaq had not played with the Suns yet. The trade had just happened, so he was not in uniform yet. So both teams are missing their starting centers. But the Suns, their starting lineup was Steve Nash. Oh, where'd it go? Steve Nash, Raja Bell, Boris Diaw, Grant Hill, and Amari Stoudemire. So it's still a very powerful starting five. And, Nash obviously coming off his really, excellent start to his Suns career, winning MVP in 05 and 06. And this is still a very good team here in 08.
I love it. Let's do it. We'll start with you, Adam, and then we'll go to Austin here. Adam, when you watch this game, what's the sequence that stuck out to you that sums up Chris Paul as a player?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, genuinely hard to pick one moment in this game because he's just so great all night. Like, he's just consistently really good. But I did love there's a second quarter stretch where it's just like pick and roll, over and over. And he's snaking it. He's just doing all these different things and kind of finding little pockets on the floor, hitting jumpers, mid-range stuff, threes, pocket passes. It was just everything. And I think that little stretch was probably where you saw the full Chris Paul experience.
Completely agree.
Yeah. He also during that the second quarter is like a clinic from Chris Paul. He also has to like essentially pick sixes, like two like interceptions off Steve Nash, where he kind of like lingers off a passing lane and just like, and even Steve Nash was like, God damn, why this guy? Steve Nash during this game, it looks like one of those like, well, fuck, I guess I'm gonna have to like really turn it on in the second half and like really try to go toe to toe with him because this guy's not leaving me alone, and he does. Steve Nash is excellent in the second half.
Yes.
But Chris Paul really sets the tempo in that second quarter of I wanted him to win MVP so bad that season. I was like, I just feel like did everything the right way this game. And he also has two chances to outright win the game with a shot and misses both of them. But it was his willingness to kind of like do that over and over and over, pound the rock. That eventually rewards. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but the game winner of this game is fucking crazy.
Yes,
and it's like, oh, clearly the ball is going to go to Chris Paul. It's like, no, it's not.
Well, go through it. Why don't you, Adam, do you have it in front of you, like the closing stretch?
I had the last, a couple of plays, but not the entire, breakdown of the last one. But yeah, obviously it goes to double overtime because Chris Paul misses shots at the end of regulation and overtime that could have won it. The Suns are down 4 with there's not much time left in regulation, and they go 3, foul 3. How bad was the Hornets defense on that one?
Terrible.
He just curls off the top of the key, and then nobody helps on the screen. He just catches like wide open.
Drained it. Yeah.
He just drills it. So Nash sends it to overtime. And then in the double overtime, obviously, CP misses again, and we get that second one. And then the second overtime is tied. Hornets advance the ball after kind of a weird Suns possession that didn't really go anywhere. And they throw it into Peja Stojakovic, and he hits this just crazy long 2 turnaround over Amari. That was just such a difficult shot, but just drains it at the buzzer. And Chris Paul jumps on his back, mobs him.
Yeah,
it's an awesome finish. The whole game is great. It's played at a great pace.
So
really good point guard play. It's back and forth. It's there's plenty of shooting, but it's not just bombs away. It's a really fun game to watch. No review. No, just basketball.
Exactly. Yeah. You when you called me and you're like, hey, we're picking games for CP. I was like, well, if I'm going to be on this one, I want to talk about his most MVP caliber season.
Yeah.
07-08. And I was like, there's a game on YouTube because I watched this 3 years ago. I was like, there's a game on YouTube where him and Nash just go toe to toe. I'm super into there's another one on YouTube between Nash and Kidd, and they both just are lights out.
That's it's 07. That's a great game.
Yeah, it's 06 or 07. Yeah, it's a great game. And this is similar. I just love these 2000s point guard. Mitch, you alluded to it earlier. This breed of point guard is one of my favorite positions in sports. This particular era of point guards. And I just was like, yeah, I think that's a good one. And then when you look it up, you're like, oh shit, his game score is one of his highest ever. And he has 8 fucking steals.
Yeah.
It's everything that he does, Do
you have the full line there? Go ahead and give it if you have it.
Yeah, he's 18 of 33 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3.
Yeah.
42 points, 9 assists, 8 steals, 5 rebounds, a 40.5 game score, plus 11.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, crazy.
So I'll say this. I had if not the second quarter, I had the first quarter, just his crazy good start that he has to start the game. And you talked about it earlier, you had the pick sixes that he has a lot of in the second half. You're talking about him. And then on the other side, we've talked about Nash a few times. It's who is one of the better point guards we also have, who's also on our top 50 list, who has 10 turnovers in this game. And you know why? It's the Chris Paul impact. And it's truthfully incredible that he is just in this guy's face, making that more of impact. And I'm changing my answer officially to the third quarter duel between Paul and Nash, because I think that is just
great.
spectacular the entire time. And both are working it to other teammates. Both are doing their own to get their own shots. Adam, I want to say this. Oh, and Austin, I think this is absolutely nuts. The Hornets only had 13 assists in the entire game, and Chris Paul had 9 of them. That's also ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And three of the other ones come off the bench.
From Bobby Jackson.
Yeah, Bobby Jack, who's really trusted by Byron Scott in this game. He plays a ton.
It's one of my favorite trio of like guards with Paul, Bobby Jackson, and Pargo. I mean, listen, just give me that.
Pargo is great in this game.
Yeah, so much Pargo.
We have not had a bad Pargo game on any of these podcasts we've done. He had a great one for the Hornets or the Pelicans pod we did like last summer. I mean, I'm telling you, Gennaro Pargo had a year there where we're like, oh shit.
Anatomy of a Pargo.
Anatomy of a Pargo.
And let's be clear, it's Gennaro Pargo, not Jeremy that we're talking about here.
Yes,
I said Gennaro. Did I not say Gennaro?
No, you did. You did. I just want to make sure anyone listening is not like, I wonder which Pargo brother they're talking about. But
Gennaro.
It is Gennaro. Yeah.
Gosh, and you're right. The pace in this game is just truly, it's super fun. The fact that both teams, I mean, listen, the fact that the Suns really just play 6 guys. They gave Brian Skinner love. I forgot that man. DJ Strawberry also. Nice little throwback.
Brian Skinner minutes in this game.
Well, listen, Brian Skinner. Were there many good minutes of Brian Skinner in his career?
Just put Sean Marks in. I don't get it. Like,
or Piakowski. You can just get a couple threes up.
Alondo Tucker. What are we doing?
But this was the problem with those Suns teams. They had no depth. Like all of those Sun teams, it was like they'd have like a decent 6 man. That's it. And then D'Antoni wouldn't play bench guys. So it was just like, they'd have 6-7 players max that they would trust. The 7 seconds or less teams, they always struggled because of the depth. That's one thing that like that era, it really hurt. Like the style made sense because it was such a competitive advantage playing that fast and like that smart offensively, but they just didn't have the depth to really make teams pay for it at that time, like a team like now would. So that was always a problem with those Suns team, and I think we saw that in this game. No, talking about the Chris Paul defense, he legitimately sped Nash up, which so few players did.
Yes.
Like you can see he's like overthinking stuff. He has that one turnover in transition where he just kind of dies. Like he just doesn't really do anything. He doesn't really he just kind of like can't make up his mind and just turns it over. So yeah, it was like fascinating to see Nash kind of sped up like that because that was so rare.
Yeah, Nash, and that's the other thing too. These are 2 guys who play at their own pace. Nash at a much quicker pace, more often than Paul is, but I think that was the difference in this game too, is we saw the Suns with their 7 seconds offense, and it felt New Orleans was a little bit more deliberate, but it was ball movement and still like it was team basketball. It just wasn't as quick as the Suns were.
Right. The possessions are just longer. Yeah.
Correct. The Marv Albert non-basketball moment of the game. Austin, did you have one for this game?
I got really annoyed with how often the fellas are talking about the Shaq trade.
I had the same thing. I was like, they just talk about Shaq so much. It's like he's not playing this game. This game is amazing. It's okay. It's okay. Like we don't have to just bring up Shaq every three minutes.
Yeah.
It was a little aggressive. I didn't need all them mumbling about it all. And that's the other thing too. I don't know if your guys' broadcast had it. I think I couldn't understand half the words sometimes, just like because who was calling the game? Was it just did we have the Hornets broadcast or
I did the Suns? It was Eddie Johnson was on.
There we go. Eddie Johnson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Just awful. One of the worst.
Like man, it's like this is bad. Like,
you know what? It's not
oh.
Antoine Carr bad. It is bad though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's bad.
it's
And
pretty
he kept talking about Chris Paul, and he studied Steve Nash. Like, no shit. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, he's 2-time MVP. Like, I was like, this
God forbid.
is terrible.
They also kept getting on Boris for like not shooting at times, which there's a couple that he passes up. But like he's 11 for 16. He was great in this game. Boris was awesome.
He was
like I don't really know. Like, what they're like worried about. Like, Boris,
Amari's
we can't keep passing up those shots. Yeah.
Amari,
all the big guns
and Nash. Yeah. And Barbosa off the bench. Yeah.
Gosh, I love that team. Gosh, Leandro Barbosa.
Yeah, man.
Anything else in this game before we move to 2018?
Yeah, I just think like people who are listening to us obviously like love hoops, and this is a fucking freebie on YouTube that is so worth your time. I would equate it to like a 2000s rewatchable. You know what I mean? Like it plays out like a movie and plays out.
Is
just
this
like,
Wedding Crashers?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, am I in for an underrated 2-hour affair here? Like, I think it's so much fun. Definitely highly encourage this whole game, even if you're not, a crazy Chris Paul fan or something. Just for Peja, for Diaw, for Nash, for Amari, for Morris Peterson. Like, it's a really, really fun game.
You had a great list of players going there, and then you threw Morris Peterson in there.
Because Morris Peterson, I love that guy. And then he has a play where Chris Paul has an absolute dime to him. I think in the early second quarter, where he's like kind of half court and like whips it into the paint as Morris Peterson's cutting. And I was just like, oh, Morris Pete, don't fuck this up. It's so good.
Morris Peterson just sounds like a name you would have heard from like a John Hughes movie in the 80s. It just feels like a name they would have used in one of those. What's the name they use in Ferris Bueller? This is George Peterson, not Morris Peterson, but George Peterson. This is George Peterson. Anyway, we come here for Mitchell's imitations from the 80s movies.
How dare you?
How dare you?
All right, let's fast forward 10 years though. Let's jump to 2018, and he has moved from New Orleans to LA, and now he's in his stint with Houston. And we are in the second round of the playoffs after the Jazz have. Actually, I'm not gonna stumble over Adam's point here. This is when Adam goes off and does his little blurb about it all. But Adam, why don't you tell us how we got here to this Jazz Rockets Game 5 in the playoffs?
Yeah. Two teams that you maybe would not have thought would have been in the second round, maybe a year prior, or in this fashion, right? They both were really good teams the year before, but obviously Gordon Hayward leaves, gets injured, and is leaves and is not not the same player anymore. No, the Rockets trade for Chris Paul. Well, yeah, because Gordon, he didn't play at all this season, right?
No, he doesn't. No, he's not on this team. He
leaves and gets hurt at the beginning of this season for Boston, right? So a lot of people did not expect this Utah Jazz team to bounce back the way they did, but they have a rookie Donovan Mitchell and a bunch of good role players, including a dominant Rudy Gobert defensively. They get the 5 seed. They upset the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round, 4-2. And Houston is the 1 seed, the team that Chris Paul's on. It's his first year with the team. They roll to 65 wins in the regular season. Awesome regular season team. By far the best record in the league at that time. They win their first round series against the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games, setting up this second round series. Houston goes up 3-1 after game 4, which set up this game 5 that we watched here. Chris Paul obviously trying to make the conference finals for the first time in his career, and has a dandy of a game in this one. So that's kind of how he got to this point. The actual game itself is not like a classic, but it is a classic Chris Paul performance.
That's the key. We wanted to give you the full experience. If you're watching all these games, we wanted to give the full experience of Chris Paul, and this is that. We saw it in game 1 with his defense, and then this is the evolution that we were talking about of Chris Paul. This isn't the I'm going to beat everyone with my speed and my athleticism early on version of him. This is 10 years later, and the IQ is just off the charts, and he's doing it with a guy who we talked about two episodes ago with James Harden, who flounders in the playoffs. Chris Paul is bringing the Rockets back. All tides find the what's the stupid quote? I had it and I lost it. We
The
find
rising
level.
tide lifts all boats.
Thank you. And Chris Paul is being that rising tide right now, bringing the Rockets back to kind of level here. And I mean, let's start here, Austin. What's the sequence in this game that you do you believe fully sums up the player of Chris Paul?
I mean, the fourth quarter,
It's ridiculous in the fourth quarter.
Onslaught. I have it written down somewhere. He's got fourth quarter, 20 points, 7 of 9, 4 from 3, and it's just like ice. Like there's a look in his eye. There's a we're putting this fucking series away right now. Harden, I don't really care that you're having a horrible game. You shot 1 of 8 from 3. I am taking over. I'm finding every single spot I want and just shooting it. It's so cool when a pass first point guard or a pass first player period just kind of shuts that off and just turns into an absolute monster. Just shows how good these guys are. If you're not a believer in this guy, this is one of those heat check over and over and over. It's not just like a 3-minute span. It's 8 minutes of beautiful, beautiful basketball from him.
It's a full quarter. He's playing the full fourth quarter. He's I'm not losing us this game. And Harden, you go do your thing. You go, let me carry us for the first 4 minutes, and then maybe you'll get the ball. And I think this is the evolution of him. And there's, we talk about those Clippers games, the floundering he had against the Thunder. But this is him realizing, hey, here's the moment that I just need to take over and I'm just going to go do my thing. And the 20 points in this fourth quarter, it's not the 2 misses, the 7 makes. And it's just I'm going to get to my spots and I'm going to nail it every time. And on this Jazz team, they have wing defenders out the wazoo. Ingles, Crowder,
Royce O'Neal.
And Royce O'Neal, thank you. And then also Donovan Mitchell at this point is a rookie, still no more so for his defense, and gets hurt or doesn't play. And it's just or play much. Sorry, in this fourth quarter doesn't play much. Not doesn't get hurt. Just doesn't play much in this fourth quarter. And it's just everyone, they're throwing everything they can at him, and he's like, nah, I got this.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Does not face him.
Yeah. I mean the fourth quarter is ridiculous. It's like a clinic in just manipulating defenses, getting switches, not getting switches, taking advantage of every single mismatch he had. Just so impressive. I had a feeling, the fourth quarter is the right answer. That's obviously what sums him up. I did pick one other stretch because I had a feeling we talk about the fourth quarter for sure. The end of the half where he generates 9 straight Rockets points with 2 threes of his own, and then he finds PJ Tucker for another one when they double him. And he's in full kind of stomping, pointing, just owning the court, orchestrating, but also kind of getting his shot mode. And that kind of gives them that little cushion going into the halftime, which they did not have prior to that. So I think those 9 straight points too were kind of just full Chris Paul,
Yeah. That's a great point because he is doing the before he even gets across half court, get the fuck out of the lane.
Yes.
I only want Capella.
Yeah.
Ariza, get in the corner. It's not very kind or
nope.
It's quick, just a little general.
It's demanding. Yes, it's demanding.
I love that. And if I were PJ Tucker, I'd be like, yes, sir. You got it, bud. He's on one in this game. And there's a realization. This is one of those sneaky games. Man, if you lose this game, now we're going back to Utah for game 6. I don't really like that. And Harden is clearly not having a day. Or if he's having a day, it's a bad one in the office.
Listen, he just wasn't having a good time. Well, his secondary office that he had in Houston that was not in the stadium. Apparently did not do well for that day. You're absolutely right though. But Adam, it's one of those rare game 5s where Harden's like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm going to...
He's good. Yeah. It's like in Billy Madison when Eric is doing the whole formula on the chalkboard and Billy just writes Eric drinks his own pee. He's good. It's just one of those you got it, take the keys, it's your night. And it's a killer performance, super underrated. Like you do not hear people talk about this game, and it's a great playoff game from him.
Do either of y'all have the line pulled up?
I do right now. Yeah. 13 of 22, 8 of 10 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, 41 points. So he's got half of his points basically in that fourth quarter. You brought up that second quarter, that end of the first half. It's also the PJ Tucker time when he's like, "Hey, don't forget about me." This is like prime PJ Tucker for he's like, "Oh, I'm right here in the corner," and whoop, he's like, "I ain't missing this at this point in his career." And he's knowing where to go with it, and that's just Chris Paul's superpower, is just knowing where the ball needs to be. That and Alec Burks having 22 in this game was not on my bingo card for any fan. I loved that.
I was really disappointed with the Jazz bench, except for Alec Burks. I thought everyone else, was whatever, but because they were.
You're expecting a lot from Derek Favors, who really has shown up a lot in his entire NBA career.
Who I had high hopes for? I was like, maybe Jerebko had a good game.
Oh, my guy Jerebko.
Jonas
Jerebko. Raul Neto? Come on.
Yeah. Well, Rubio and Exum are out. Those are big.
Yeah, the two, like,
because Rubio was really instrumental in them beating the Thunder. He was great in that series.
Yeah, him and Ingles, Joe Ingles, man, the Paul George killer. Joe Ingles. Adam, Marv Albert, non-basketball moment at this game. What'd you have?
I have a very simple one. Georges Niang's odd outfit.
Ooh,
that's it.
You know what? I missed that. I'm not gonna lie, I missed that.
Yeah, me too. Damn it. Now I'm upset. I wish I would have seen that. I forgot that David Stockton is on this team.
Yeah, John's son.
I was like, oh my god, there's the son.
I had the moment where I forgot Joe Johnson was still in the league, and then you peek over at the bench like, oh, Joe Johnson's on the Rockets, and then I remind myself, oh, Joe Johnson played one game for the Boston Celtics during COVID, so
Joe Johnson had been with the Jazz the year before, hit a game winner in the playoff series the year before.
Correct. ISO Joe. That's absolutely right. Anything else from this game? I mean, listen, this Jazz team is a team that wins by a committee, and then there is this Rockets team. It feels like it's its two-headed sword of the two-sided sword of Paul and Harden, and whoever wants to ride alongside him. In this game, it was Paul leading the charge, and Harden was just, riding in the caboose, just waiting to be picked up from daycare, it feels like. And I just think these are one of those games where Chris Paul is just showing why he's so high on our list. And then we see like the clutch moments he had in that Hornets game, like just missing some of those big shots. I think this is just the evolution of him getting so much better going.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's kind of a mastering of that skill. And we really were robbed against the Warriors. Him and Iguodala both getting hurt, not being able to be at proper full strength for that series. I just think we were robbed of a true classic. It still was a 7-gamer, but I wish those guys would have been able to play.
I agree. And before we finish this game part, before we talk about the last couple categories, we should probably mention rookie Donovan Mitchell's absolute explosion in the third quarter, and how awesome he was. He obviously he has 20 in the third and gets them right back in the game, and actually gives them the lead at one point. And then he goes out in the fourth quarter and it wasn't able to finish the game. But obviously you saw all the promising signs of what is. I mean, he's had a Hall of Fame career at this point. So you saw a lot of promises in that rookie year for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I was just going to say 22 of his 24. 22 of his 24 happened in that third quarter. It's kind of just crazy.
Yeah.
It's special. And like Austin and now in you, Adam, Hall of Fame career. It's been ridiculous, but not in our top 50. Sorry to bother you all with that. Last few categories. What jersey would you buy for that player? And then would you ever buy a jersey? Adam, you are showing it off. The Hornets, Chris Paul jersey. Do you have another one, or is it just that one?
I have a Clippers jersey, but that's my only jersey. Chris Paul jersey. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Austin, I'm assuming you have one as the Chris Paul stan.
I used to, yeah. When
He
I was,
did, yeah. I would say you did at one point, yeah.
I had the yellow one,
Yeah.
like from '08. I'm not crazy about those. The Anthony Davis like rookie year one and late Chris Paul. I don't know what it is. I think I prefer the like teal from the jerseys prior than that like more like aqua blue. I think that's my biggest pet peeve.
Interesting.
But it's still Chris Paul, and I would definitely buy just like the white or the teal from '07, '08. I had the yellow one, and I also had a white from same era. I had the jersey that Adam he has a ton of those. Yeah, I don't have either of them anymore because I had it when I was 12. So 12 or 13. So yeah, I mean, I still I've got Chris Paul stuff though. Here's from the 2010 All-Star game Adam and I went to. I walked up to him. He was on his crutches and got his signature right there. I have that. I got it again at a Clippers game in 2011, 12. Him and Chauncey Billups on the Adam and I loved these like roster sheets.
I know, they don't do this
fun.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And then I have this was a gift from our uncle. So I have 3 Chris Paul signatures because there's never enough. And he gave me this as a gift when I was younger from his book, and he signed it at a book signing, Chris Paul. So yeah, like I was obsessed is like probably not the right word. I was like, yeah, probably too involved, like too too into him like as a kid. But like like you have your heroes, and he was one of mine for sure. He had me believing, like, when you're like 12, 13, like, I can fucking do that.
Yeah. He was inspiring.
Like, I'm laughing, but like it was real. It was like super real. And there are certain guys that him, Nash, and I know this is strange, but Brandon Jennings, I was like, yeah, like he's tiny, and like I can. It's just that era of guys I watched, but Chris Paul was, led the charge.
The one,
yeah, he was the one. Yeah, he was the one. Yeah,
I love it. I did not ever buy a jersey. If I were to buy a jersey of his, it would probably be a Thunder. Just that 1 year with the Thunder.
I would say a Thunder would be really cool. Yeah.
You didn't get a Spurs one, Adam?
I didn't. I've looked. I should have when he was playing. I regret it. I've looked recently. There are a few floating around. They're quite a bit more expensive than they would have been just in the store at the time.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I regret not pulling the trigger on that year.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul.
I'm annoyed for you.
Yeah. Should have done that. At least a jersey.
Well, yeah. Gosh, at least a jersey. Okay, what other top 50 player would you pair him with? Austin, I'll start with you. What other top 50 player all time would you pair him with?
I thought about this for a long time.
How long?
Like a whole day.
Days.
Oh, okay.
Like I worked earlier today super early, so I just kind of was just thinking about Chris Paul the whole day. It was great, like at work. It's like I was like, I mean, I don't know how deep you want to get. Like I was like
Chris Paul on the mind.
I was just thinking about, I mean, I don't know how many of these I'm going to come on. So I'm just going to like immerse myself. Like that's what I do with movies. When I watch, like when I do stuff for a podcast, like I just get like sucked into like a world for a little while. And with Chris Paul, I've just been like watching Chris Paul stuff. I've been watching like people play like NBA Street Home Court when he was on it, and like the old 2Ks, like Chris Paul, like video game gameplay. It's for just like why not? But I was thinking about like different guys he played with, and Mitch, you mentioned like David West, Tyson Chandler, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Like those were like coming out of the gate. Those are like the big guys that he played. Like pick and roll. We're gonna lob. We're gonna do this and that. And then he plays with Harden, a proper 2 guard, and then Booker, Shea, Booker, these like other kind of like guards. And then he plays with Wemby, but that's like, way out of his prime. I'm kind of thinking like, okay, he needs to play with a small forward. He never played with like a true blue dominant, like small forward, like 6'8", 6'9", like guy who can like really, really, really score and do a lot. And the one guy that I think could like check Chris Paul, put up with his shit, but also play as hard as Larry Bird.
Interesting.
The meeting of the minds, but also like the hard asses who like Larry Bird. If Chris Paul were to like direct Larry Bird, he'd be like, "Fuck you!" Like, and then it would be like it would either go really poorly or it'd be like a respect thing. Like,
it could go either way.
Hey, like, hey, like we need each other really bad. So we never got to see Chris Paul play with like a like dynamite small forward. That just never happened. So this would be the opportunity.
Adam, who'd you have?
I went with the ultimate pick and pop partner for Chris Paul and Dirk Nowitzki.
I like that.
Yeah, just I mean, what do you do with those two? I mean, that would just be an unstoppable pick and pop, pick and roll combination.
Man, both great options. I thought about this for not a whole day, because I came up with two options. I went with the small forward option first, and Adam, we talked about this guy in a podcast or an episode recently. But small forward option who can just light it up and just be like the primary scorer. But hey, if there's nights we need Paul to do it, he can do it. Give me Dominique Wilkins and just be
I like that.
And provides the highlight reel. Hey, I can still go be the lob threat. That was my first thought. And then I was like, wait a second. Hold on. There's got to be a better option. And then I tried to remind myself, did he ever play with Kevin Durant? And then I was like, oh, wait, he never did. And
he did very briefly. He did very briefly.
Shit.
Yes, in Phoenix. That very small, like 2-month window.
Yeah, I don't even know how many games they actually.
Very briefly.
Well, that takes away my thought process.
2023.
So we're going to stick with Dominique, and I'm going to throw Dominique Wilkins, another option there for Chris Paul. So I went with Wilkins on that one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
So the thought exercise is really cool because it's like you can, if you do someone like Dirk or Duncan, it's very imaginable because they played during the same time, and it's like, yeah, these guys would fit like a glove. But then like you think about some guys from the past, and Chris Paul, probably one of his best things about him is how much he could translate to different styles of play with different other like stars. And he did that, you know, we talked about it throughout the episode. Like he did that. I mean, like to play with like Blake Griffin and try to like elevate him and elevate James Harden is like, that's a true skill.
Yeah. Well, and then how good he was on the USA teams, right? For the 08 and the.
Oh man, I totally forgot to I meant to talk about that earlier. I mean, yeah, I think you guys like too, but I take that shit really seriously. Like, when you play serious minutes on a USA team, that I think that means a lot from your peers, your coaches, to be on that roster and like really play in crunch time.
And how portable your game is, right? You can play all different types of players. That's hugely valuable on Team USA.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely agree. The other guy would be Havlicek, but that's just another guy who I think is a malleable like 2 or 3, and like Paul has moments where you're like, oh, you can. I'll go crazy tonight. You go crazy tonight. It's just very. However, I wonder if it's just too much of a selflessness between the two of them in moments, because they both are so good and they both fill in roles, but I know there's years after Russell retires that Havlicek is like, oh, I can be the go-to scorer, but then he's like, I have Tiny next to me. So I think that's the mold we see, is like him and Paul are kind of like him and Tiny later on. So or not Tiny, Jojo White, not Tiny.
Jojo White, yeah.
Thank you. And I had a stupid moment there, but yeah, him and Jojo White worked together in the mid 70s, very similarly. So that's where I went with the comp. Okay, and then final question: where is he now? Well,
just retired.
Not having no one come to his birthday party.
Yeah.
Sad day. And Clippers dumped him terribly. Let's be completely honest. The Clippers not only fucked him over, but they fucked over Blake Griffin whenever they sent him away after all that. So Clippers, not knowing how to handle their star players who have like kind of made their franchise what it is now, just a destination in some sort of.
Except the ones they pay under the table.
and then possibly ruin trades for. So
yeah, Brandon Ingram, hold on. Man,
where
oh God.
Adam, do you have anything where he is now more specific?
I mean, it is sad the way the kind of career finished. The romantic idea of him kind of playing that last season in LA with the Clippers kind of made some sense, but clearly it was just a personality clash. Just never really worked. It would have been kind of nice if he just went out with that year with San Antonio, playing all 82 and just being, a mentor for those young guys. That would have been a really cool way to kind of finish it. At that point, it would have been exactly 20 years, right? So, we kind of got, it was like 20 plus. We didn't quite get to 21 full seasons played, but that's a little bit of an awkward one. But other than that, I mean, just a brilliant career. And again, I'm just curious to see what he does next, if he stays in the game or not.
Me and you both. Austin, any final thoughts on Chris Paul and his career?
Yeah, I mean, some of the main reasons he's here are, stuff we've talked about with his game, eye test. But like the numbers are there too. Second in assists all time, second in steals all time, fifth in win shares all time, ahead of Michael Jordan in win shares is fucking crazy. He's top 40 in points so it's not just assists and steals. Like the guy could light it up too. You look at all of his stuff, totals, advanced, even playoff numbers, like it's all right there. The big thing that people are going to have a hard time reckoning with is the ring. And I don't have a hard time with that at all. So I look at the totality of the career and I'm like, if I were just looking at this and I didn't know who it was, I'd be like, surely this is a top 25 player ever. Like it's really that impressive. So I love him. One of my favorites of all time. And I'm so glad you guys made space for me to be on this one.
Absolutely. Made space? What are you talking about? Get your head out of your ass.
I mean, I don't know how many I'm gonna be on or timing wise. But yeah, I always appreciate it.
Whatever. Okay. Dummy. Okay. Thanks everyone for listening to us talk about Chris Paul. Adam, do you want to tell them who we're doing next?
Why don't you do it? Go ahead.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite, and I classified him in my top 25 when Adam and I met. I had him in the top 25 and is the most underrated player in NBA history, Moses Malone. And I am excited to do that one. And that's going to be a blast. So,
yeah,
come back next episode and we will be talking about Moses Malone. Thanks everyone for listening. Go follow Johnson Magic, where Austin and Adam both host their podcast, and go follow their content. Austin, this is not the final time we're seeing you this summer. Oh, no. We will have you on many a time. And this is guest number 2. We're going to have a few other guests, especially in coming episodes here too. So it's going to be a blast. Thanks for listening. This is the Anatomy of a Superstar for Chris Paul.